grant-funded programs, doesn't that punish the students, families, and staff?
Many of the grant-funded programs came through the department, some of the grant-funded programs came through the Arizona Department of Education, and as the Arizona Department of Education received a reduction in their funding, that reduction was passed on to our grants. The same thing is happening in some of the federal funds related to safe schools, drug-free schools as well. In terms of other grants, we are, as I mentioned, with Title I in particular, we are needing to reallocate our Title I monies to allow for full-day kinder.
Next one up is from Ironwood Ridge. Charter schools seem to be defined financially. Why are Ramp schools in bad shape financially?
Well, I'm not sure that charter schools do fine financially. I think, in particular, if we have to experience Proposition 100's failure, we're going to see a lot of closing of charter schools. In general, what's happening in a charter school, and Mr. Little can also respond, is there is usually a very contained group of students that may have very similar needs. The diversity of students is sometimes certainly not at the diversity level in terms of all the issues that we're dealing with, all the way from advanced placement to free and reduced lunch. The buildings of charter schools are typically owned by the operator, so that again is a cost that they're dealing with through another source, or they're using state money to pay for and owning it themselves.
It's interesting. You can look back at last year's mid-year budget cuts and see a perfect example of why the disparities exist. How the cuts were given out to both public and charter schools last year were vastly different. And in how the formula actually worked for certain cuts like capital, they actually made smaller cuts to smaller districts, and in often cases, those charter schools were under those threshold dollars and actually did not get impacted as heavily as the larger district did.
Thank you. Next up is from Balentine Scott. What are the class size formula numbers now? Example, how many students are allowed in kindergarten class now?
Well, as I stated, at this district level, we allocate staff based upon at the elementary level, 29.75. At the middle and high school level, I believe it's 28.75, because the middle and high school provide the band and orchestra music that is outside of that allocation at the elementary level. So then in terms of students that show up at a particular school, the site administrative team works to balance class sizes at that point.
From here at Ironwood Ridge, how will current and possible cuts affect high school electives, AP honors classes, and what non-athletic fees do you anticipate?
Well, certainly if we have larger class sizes, it's our intention not to cut AP courses. We know, as our student who spoke here earlier, how critical it is to offer the vast range of academic offerings for the interests and the future planning of all of our students. So it is not our intention to affect the AP program in particular. Frankly, we're going to be needing to look to the future for other programming as well to ensure that our community views and continues to view our schools as offering excellent academic programs. But we are going to have large class sizes in order to do that.
From Balentine Scott, the question is related to teacher salaries. Can money from direct giving companies go directly to teacher salary?
Can you ask that again? I'm not sure.
Can money from direct giving companies go directly towards teacher salary?
Well, the answer would be yes. We currently have at least 2 or 3 PTOs in the district that are funding a particular increase in a teacher, a number of teachers, or a program, a teacher for a particular program in the building. I haven't thought of, frankly, whether or not there would be a corporation that wanted to
This one is related to Proposition 100 and which way it goes next month. In the event of Proposition 100 not passing, who will provide the major voices in directing the school board decisions on what programs, services, and personnel to fund?
Well, certainly, I and the senior staff have been, as you see, reviewing and discussing options with our governing board, and we will continue doing that. We certainly, as those people who are staff members know, that during the last month we've had vast input across the district with suggestions for ways to save money. And as I mentioned earlier, the major suggestions that are feasible, frankly, for this fiscal year are related to efficiencies with utilities and printing, etc.
Next one is from Iowa Bridge, and this is specific to somebody who wants to give money, so we are all ears. If I make a donation to Balentine, can I specify the school and or department to benefit? If so, how? And the donors at Oro Valley recently circulated a pamphlet to solicit such donations.
Absolutely. Give us a call. The question is, if I'm interested in making a donation, how do I do that? Well, what do I do? First of all, give me a call. As many of you know, the Oro Valley Community Foundation called me about 3 or 4 months ago after the capital override failed and expressed their deep concern for the realities that they knew. A couple of those folks were on our Blue Ribbon committees over the last few years, and they knew how serious that loss was for the district. They also knew where we are in the state of Arizona, and that is what created that capital campaign from the Oro Valley Community